The Bills Mafia has spent the last few days making Nashville look like Buffalo South, showing up in force to make sure the Bills have a strong cheering section when they take on the Titans just over 2 hours from now. We're still early in the season, but after last week's domination of Kansas City, a win here could cement the Bills as frontrunners in the AFC with the easiest schedule in football remaining. Joining us live is our NFL insider, Vic Carucci, to get us ready. Vic, we're always glad to have you.
Great to be with you always.
So we talked about the Mafia takeover. What impact, if any, will having that many Bills fans in the stadium have on the game?
Well, I think before they get to the stadium, Nashville's economy is going to be booming. They are going to sell a lot of, shall we say, adult beverages and whatever else goes with that. No, the impact, it'll be interesting because by most accounts that I've been able to get, and this is unscientific and not using analytics here, but somewhere in the vicinity of maybe 20,000 or so people will have tickets to that game. And presumably will make it to the stadium. It's a long day into a long night or a long weekend, whatever it's been, week. But I think their presence definitely will be helpful as an energy draw for the Bills. I do think the Bills, Josh Allen in particular, tend to perform, I'm going to use the term looser, on the road than they do at home. You saw that game at Arrowhead Stadium where there was not, even though there were some Bills fans there, it's going to be nothing like we'll have tonight. And I think he just feels like he can turn it loose. Sometimes the presence of a lot of the Bills support behind him and other players on the team, they kind of, okay, they hear that, they know it, and they feel maybe that just a little extra something. I think it can be good more than a pressure building negative, but it will be interesting to see. And then in particular, when Tennessee has the ball, how much noise will they be hearing, especially on third down when the home crowd's supposed to be,
Yeah, for sure. And, the Bills don't have a lot of competition when it comes to the division. The Dolphins have dropped 5 in a row, and they and the Pats and the Jets are a combined 4-13 on the year. And you don't want to jinx anything or get ahead of yourself, but do you think that they could have the division getting close to being locked up, especially with the rest of the schedule on the way?
It's really shaping up that way, Kate. I mean, you look at what happened yesterday. It was an overtime loss for New England, but a loss. They haven't won a game yet at Foxborough this season, which is just crazy to comprehend. You saw Miami lose to the previously winless Jacksonville team in London. The Jets were off, and I think that's the only reason maybe they didn't lose. But you've got a bad division surrounding the Bills. It's theirs for the taking. It's been theirs for the taking, really, from the start. And the way the schedule sets up, I'm telling you, we'll get to around Thanksgiving and you'll begin to wonder, like, the math permutations could be in place to seal this thing up then. And then really the conversation after that is home field advantage. I know people are saying, shh, quiet, don't jinx it. But let's look at the realities. And that's what we do, by the way. That's what we get to do, is we get to project. We don't have to take it one game at a time. We'll take them 10 games at a time.
And, outside the division, though, is a different story. There's stiffer competition. Yeah. You have the Bills at the top of your power rankings, but how do they stack up with the other teams after yesterday's games?
Yeah, and that's really, right now, the more interesting conversation. Sure, there are other AFC teams to look at and consider. The Ravens and Chargers played yesterday. The Ravens won that game, and pretty handily. Their defense played well, and it had not been playing well. And they have been on and off offensively, but they're certainly a team to look at. Don't sleep on Kansas City, even though the Bills did a pretty good job of beating them up last Sunday night. And you look at the Chargers, I think they'll be heard from again in the division. I mean, in the conference. And after that, it's kind of, it's sort of up in the air as to who else is going to, the Raiders going to revive with a new coach. Some people think that could really lead to something. I don't know. Denver, very shaky situation there. So all in all, I see the Bills in a very commanding position. And then after that, it's the NFC, and it's Arizona. They're unbeaten. And they look real strong. And then Tampa Bay, that game, of course, in Tampa later in the year for Buffalo will be the next one that I think people are going to really put the circle around.
We've been chatting with Vic Carucci. He's joining the rest of the gang for Sports Talk Live tonight at 7:30 here on Channel 2. And Vic, you got Andre Reed joining you guys too.
Yes, I had a conversation with him, which we'll run during the show. The teaser or highlight I want to bring from that, Andre was in Nashville for a few days. I talked with him from Arizona. He had just landed there. He's there for a watch event tonight in Arizona, but he was talking about how crazy it was in Nashville to see all the Bills fans taking over. And he was asking me, he said, do you remember anything like that during the Super Bowl years? I said, sure, the fans traveled well, but he feels it's a more organized group of fans. And I said, yeah, technology, right? It allows people to be in various places on a certain schedule.
Well, we look forward to that again, 7:30 tonight right here on Channel 2. Vic, thanks again.
All right, Kate.
And that's going to do it for the Town Hall for tonight. We will see you back here tomorrow at 5:30. Just a reminder, here's our text line, 716-849-2220. We'd love to hear from you. Scott and Claudine are here for Channel 2 News at 6.